hey, make sure you can. Hola, 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 everybody. Hello. Yay! Okay, let's. Okay, my voice is loud and clear. A bit of buffering, anybody? I know when we start, it's going to be a little buffering. So I want to make sure before I get into it that at least two people can tell me that they can hear me. I need two people to tell me that they can hear me loud and clear before I start. Two people, tell me yes, and then I'll start. Okay, 1, 2, beautiful. So first of all, how is everybody doing today? Is everybody doing good? I'm not wearing my contacts today. I'm running out of contacts, and we're in like another lockdown, so I'm trying to save the contacts that I have. So you may see me doing this, or you may see me like squinting to my iPad. So don't mind me, okay, guys? Please bear with me. Okay. Today we're going to talk about three-way coordination. Voice can... I like someone said, voice can only be more clear if we were in the same room. That made me laugh. Thank you for saying that. Okay. Today we're going to talk about three-way coordination. We have been diving into a lot of subdivision stuff lately. You guys remember? Have you guys been following what we've been doing? We've been diving into a lot of... Okay, you know what? I feel like I really can't see. So I'm going to put my iPad right here so I can see what's happening. Don't worry, guys. So we have been working on 16-node permutations for quite some time. And 16-node permutations for me is like the key that unlocks you and allows you to play whatever you want to play freely. Because that's my intention with music and with drums. I feel like it's important to, memorize things, memorize patterns that we hear. But when we're on the bandstand, when we're playing with other people, and let's say people are throwing ideas at you, I feel like it's important to respond and have that freedom to respond. If they're going da-da-da-da, you can go da-da-da-da. But what if you're keeping a consistent pattern, ding-da-da-ding, da-da-ding, and what if they go da-da-da-da? So, let me give you an example. So, let's say I'm playing with a band, all right? Let's say I'm playing with a band, and this is my pattern. Hey. Woo, we're in the pocket, right? Now, let's say the horn player goes da-da-da-da. Now, what if we're playing like some 4 on the floor, and the same horn player throws that rhythm at me, da 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 da. Woo! Vibe, vibe. Now. You see what I'm saying? So you want to be able to, no matter what anybody throws at you, you want to be able to respond. And what does that mean? That means us being drummers, we are responsible. I don't like to say, you know what? Hold on, let me think about that for a second. I wouldn't say that we are responsible for the time, and I feel like, yes, we are the foundation. We're the loudest acoustic instrument. We do supply the foundation of rhythm. But everybody in the band is responsible for their time and to have the pulse. But definitely we are the foundation of the music in terms of the rhythm. But I want to because people are like, we rely on the drums for the time. No, don't do that. Because if you do that, if you rely on the drums for the time, then I can't free up then. But let's say, I want to free up a little bit, but I still want to be stable. I always talk about dancing within the stability. That's my favorite thing to do. That's why I love working on coordination and independence so much, right? So we picked, everyone please open your PDFs. I have my PDF on my phone. Did everybody download their PDFs? And let me tell you what we're going to tackle today. We are going to tackle today three-way coordination. When I say three-way coordination, three-way, 3 limbs. It could be any of your 3 limbs, but for this specific lesson, I chose my right hand, which can be on the hi-hat, which can be on the ride. And then I chose my left hand on the snare, and I chose my bass drum. So we have hi-hat, ride, snare, and kick, okay? So on this sheet, you'll see at the top, it says, play the snare drum on beats 2 and 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, makes sense? And we're going to play it like a backbeat. So we want to hit the rim shot. And I was talking to a couple of people about this the other day, and we were talking about the rim shot and having a good sound. You know, for me, aside from like playing rhythms and stuff, I think it's important to have a very good sound. And a good sound is subjective to a lot of people. Maybe I can talk about that a little bit. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay, guys? I need some interaction to make sure everybody's listening. Is that okay, guys? Can I have an amen? Or can I have a yes? Can I have a yes? Yours. Yo. Can somebody say yo? Okay. So this is the thing, all right? In my opinion, everything is subjective. Everything is an opinion. So I will not tell you that you need to do this or you need to do that, because everything is an opinion. If someone says this is correct, somebody may be like, this is not correct. And it's like, is the sky blue? What if when you were born, someone came up to you and told you that the sky is purple? And nobody corrected you. And you're like 28. And you're like, the sky is purple. And then I come on to Drumeo and I go, the sky is purple. You all are going to be like, is she like not sleeping enough at night or something if she thinks the sky is purple? Right? So everything is subjective. And that's what I believe. So back to this. So I was talking about sound, right? So I was saying, to me, it's important to have a good sound. Now, to me, like, some people like to have a very clean sound. For me, I like to be clean and sometimes a little messy at the same time, because I like to really give that raw feeling. But some people, a good sound is a very round sound. So, like, you know, sometimes when I'm playing at small jazz clubs, or when I was playing at smaller jazz clubs, you know, 18-inch bass drum, there's no muffling in the kick, and it would be a very open sound. And there's a lot of debate on sound also, right? A lot of people say don't bury the beater. They say, like, you know, hit it and let it bounce back. But I like to bury the beater. I think it's important to me, right? So I highly recommend for everybody to really understand sound and what their drum set sound means to them. And when I say sound doesn't mean expensive gear. No. Sound doesn't mean the best cymbals or the brand name cymbals or gear. No, I didn't start out that way. Please. Like, I only started getting, like, high-end gear, like, 5 years ago. Before that, I was playing, like, things I could find for very cheap. And because it's not the gear, it's the person how you make the gear sound, okay? So I really wanted to make this a point before we get into the exercise, because I always like to say this. Yes, we're going to do technical exercises, but sound is so important. Like, if I close my eyes and I turn on a record, if Vinny Colaiuta is playing and he's doing my 3-way coordination exercise, which I think I need to work on his coordination exercises, obviously. Right? 2, 3, 4. Now, if Dave Weckl plays this, and if Jared plays this, and if Dave plays this, it won't be hard to identify. It'll be so easy to say this is this person and this is that person. So I would say, everybody, I recommend you, while you're playing these exercises, like, train your ear in terms of the sounds that you're hearing. You know, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I think this is really, really, really important. Sound is very important to who you are as a person and who you are musically. So, where was I going with this? I had a good point. Oh, so I recently became a Remo artist. I became a Remo artist like 4, 5, 6 months ago, after being an Evans artist for I was an Evans artist for 5 years, 4 to 5 years. The reason I made the switch is because, being in the pandemic, I had to record my own drums and send it to a lot of people. So I was listening to my drum heads, and I'm like, what is that sound? I'm like, wow, I'm hearing the drums and the heads like never before. And it got to a point where I had to do a very important recording, and I started hitting the snare, and I'm like, it's not sounding right. Then I had this Remo Ambassador at the back of my basement that I haven't touched. It was just laying there for 6 years. I put it on, and it was a game changer for me. And it changed everything. And so what I started doing before I made the switch to Remo, and this is Drumeo Edge insider information. Please, no one post this part anywhere outside Drumeo Edge, because I'm giving you guys the insight, just to help you. So anyway, it got to a point where I couldn't take the sound of Evans anymore. And what I did is I sat for hours for 6 months, like every single day. I wanted to make sure that I'm not crazy. I wanted to make sure that I am making an informed decision, because I believe I believe in loyalty. I believe in friendship. I believe in family. I believe in growing together. And everybody at Evans, they were like so dear to me. But I felt like I had to live my truth as well in terms of the product and how it's helping my sound. Anyway, I spent so many nights turning on YouTube videos, and I watched YouTube videos of Remo and Evans comparisons. I'd close my eyes and I would hear someone hit Evans and Remo, and I would say Remo, Evans, Evans, and I was spot on every single time. So I'm like, okay, so there is a difference. I'm not just like imagining it. Then I started going down this rabbit hole of listening to all of these drummers and closing my eyes and be like, this is a G1, this is a Ambassador, this is a Clear, this is a Coded, this is a this, and my ears became, even like, this is a Savian, this is a Zildjian, this is a Mino. So my ears became so, like, they really developed, and that helped me make the choices that I want to make. So I just want to say that sound is so important, and it's so important a part of your image. So back to the rim shot. So I hope that shows you the importance of sound. You know, I feel like being drum geeks that we are, or music nerds that we are, we have a tendency to be like, what's the most expensive gear? What's the most coolest gear? What's the most trending gear? What's the most colorful gear? What's cool? What's popping right now? It's not about that. It really isn't about that. You have to find what resonates with you, and I think that is super important. So even like going back to the rim shot, like I'm telling you, like the way I hit the rim shot, right? Like if I'm playing a backbeat, right? I'm like, yo, like, good morning. This is me, Sarah. Woo! In there, you know what I'm saying? Like you can feel it. But when I'm playing the jazz or like something, if I'm playing ghost notes, right? So I know like my palette of sounds, right? A backbeat, like if you look at the sheet, it says 2 and 4. But the backbeat, the way I'm interpreting it is this. Rim shot. But you can interpret it like this. Like, I know people who play a backbeat without the rim shot. They're just hitting the snare head. Or you can have a loose flavor, or you can play traditional grip. So before we get into the exercise, I want to express to you that when I say backbeat on 2 and 4, you don't have to go, because maybe that doesn't work for you. So you find what 2 and 4 means to you. Okay? So I wanted to put that out there. Next, everybody. Okay? Now I'll just show you the way I like to hit the backbeat. If you like the way I hit the backbeat, and if you would like to use the way I hit the backbeat in your playing. So, the way I hit the backbeat, number 1, I always aim to be loose at all times. You know, I try to have my hands be like octopuses, so you can really have the mobility to do what you want. And especially if you want to go at high speeds, like, right? Like I'm going. If I go, that doesn't work. Even if I want to play backbeat, if I'm going, doesn't work. You're going to injure yourself. It's not comfortable. And this is my opinion again, because everybody's bodies are different, okay? But in my experience, you want to keep your body loose. And I love to give this example, okay? First of all, I like to leave space in between my arms, okay? Like when you're playing it's not like, it's like, hey, whoo. Sometimes like swaying my belly, my torso, the front part of my body, to give it little, and it helps me loosen up, especially playing in the back, because you know, with my streams, we're not going to be just talking about technical stuff. We are going to be talking about the feeling. And before we get into any exercise, I will always talk about the feeling behind it, because we are not robots, okay? We are not drum machines. Okay, we're humans. We have emotions and feelings. Just in case you didn't know. 1 second, let me take a sip of my coffee, please. Anybody else love coffee? I love coffee. Okay. So, I'm like losing my train of thought today. I think it's like not having the contacts. Okay, so we're talking about being loose, okay? So, I keep there's space here. Even when I'm holding my stick, I was talking to somebody about this today. I hope you can see this. Hold on, let me see if you can see this. Ha, you can see it. Beautiful. If you see, there's like space between my thumb and my index finger. Can everybody see that? So, because I know some people, they do this. And I mean, again, if it works for you, okay, that's good. But if it doesn't work for you, keep the space. Okay, please keep the space. All right, we'll keep the space. Okay, my friends, so keep the space. And I like to do this when I hit. Kata! Yeah! Look how it's like... Can you see that? Yeah! It's not... Ha! Ha! You know, we're not like Jackie Chan or... What is it? Like, you know those movies? The fighting movies? I don't watch too many fighting movies. I don't like it. Fighting movies like Jackie Chan stuff or Fast and Furious and all that stuff. But, like, I'm a Disney person, okay? I don't watch too many action movies right now. Okay? I'm still a baby in my heart, okay? Actually, I go to sleep every night, like, watching Hercules and Sleeping Beauty. It's the best thing in the world. Oh, my God. Okay. So, you're not doing, nah. You're going to go, whoosha, whoosha. Okay, like, for me, I love power. And I used to associate power with stiffness. But it's completely wrong. It's so deceiving. Even when you want to play fast... You see that? Like, if you see my wrists, they're all... Okay, so I wanted to make that clear. Someone said still a boomy sound. Are you talking about me? Oh, you guys are talking about drum heads. Oh, I love this. Okay. Okay, so I hope that helps. So when I'm talking about this snare on 2 and 4, this is my approach. All right? I'm very loose. There's no tension. I love Thomas Pridgen's hands. The way he plays his hands. If you watch Thomas Pridgen, you'll see a lot of this motion, and it's a very loose, relaxed feel. So that's one of my favorites. Okay, now let's get into these exercises. Okay, are you all with me? Okay, everybody, open your PDF if you haven't already. The PDF says play snare drum on beats 2 and 4, and I've been talking about this for 17 minutes now, but I hope I got my point across. Okay, now 1. Look at everybody. Please look at number 1. Okay. I promise I'm not on Facebook. I'm looking at the PDF. Actually, how would you know if I'm on Facebook or not? Okay. Everybody, look at number 1. Okay. You're gonna see 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. Okay. Now, number 1 is a right hand pattern or your lead hand pattern. Okay. Either you can play it on the ride cymbal or you can play it on the hi hat. So for right now, let's say, do I feel like ride cymbal? Okay, for right now, I'm going to play it on the, okay, I'll do both. Okay, I'll do both. Now, if you look at number 2 is going to be your kick pattern, okay? So is everybody with me? Number 1 is going to be your either ride cymbal or hi-hat pattern, and number 2 is going to be your kick pattern. Is everybody with me? I need a yes. Can somebody say yes? Can somebody say yes? Can somebody... Okay, I hear yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, now I like to look at exercises like a spider web. For me, it's not 1 plus... like 1 plus 2 is 3. I had to think about that for a second. Oh, my God. I like to mix and match things. So this is what this is all about. So you can approach this in many different ways. So let's go number 1A. So we're gonna be playing. Let's go B. Okay, we'll go B. Let's start with B. So I need everyone to play 8th notes with your right hand. If you don't have a drum set, slap your thighs or your leg or your sofa or something. Okay, and count with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's 1B. Is everybody with me? Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now there are steps to this. We can always take it a level up. We're going to start with just 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I always talk about orchestration. Remember that? I always talk about sound sources. Remember that? Because that is the color and the spice of your life. Because what if I said, hey, 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 hi, hey, right? Like, depending on how I say hey, you're going to get an emotional response from it. So, exactly like this. If you're playing eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... To me, this is like, hey, hey, hey. But what if I go, hey, hey, hey? Or what if I go, hey, hey, hey? Or hey, hey, hey? Or hey, hey? Or hey, hey, hey? So you see, I'm saying the same word. I'm playing the same eighth notes, but I'm adding accents. So I wanted to plant that all in your mind, that when you see 2 eighth notes, there's a lot that you can do with 2 eighth notes. So keep that in your mind. And I believe intention is very important. Every time I play something, even if it's this, it's not autopilot. I don't like playing in autopilot. For me, it's like, yes, I am playing eighth notes. Yes, I'm hitting the bell on the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Yes, I'm hitting the bell on the ends. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Yes, my hi-hat is open. Yes, my foot is holding the hi-hat tight. You want to be in full awareness and control, and the decisions that you make, even when it's just playing eighth notes. And eighth notes are very powerful, okay? And even when you're just playing eighth notes, you want to be in full control of the sound sources around you and how you're playing these eighth notes. Okay, let's move on. So 1B, we're going to be playing just straight eighth notes, no accents for now, okay? So everybody with me. Anybody at their drum set or their legs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Can everybody do that? So eighth notes on the right hand, 2 and 4 with your left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? Okay? So now, if you have any questions, oh yeah, I have my Google Sheet open. Okay, I have my Google Sheet open. Submit any questions, okay? So, now we're going to add the kick drum. Now, we are going to read 2A to O. I need this pandemic to end so I can get a new set of contacts. Wait, I have my glasses. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know, the last time I actually wore glasses was actually at Drumeo. The time that I threw my glasses. Anybody see that video? It's my Indian rhythms on the drums near the end. And these were exactly the same glasses because my sister bought them for me. My sister bought them for me 2 days before I went to Drumeo. And then I'm like, they're kind of loose at the time. And then I had the choice. Should I wear the glasses that I've been wearing for like 2 years? Or should I wear the new glasses that seem loose and not reliable? And obviously, knowing me, I chose the glasses that are not reliable. So then I remember we were like getting to the end of the performance. And I'm going, I couldn't focus because I'm like, I can't concentrate. I'm like, you know what? Forget this. Ba-bam. So anyway, glasses, we're back. Okay. See you. We're going to read. We're going to read 2A to O. So everybody right hand. 1 and 2 and 3. Everybody with me. Ready? We're going to go to 2A first. 2. So we're playing right hand 1B. 2 and 4 on the snare. Now everybody, we're going to do 2A with our kick. Ready? And go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Now I need everybody to count aloud with me, okay? 1 and 2. I need you to count, okay? 1. Is everybody counting? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3. Now let's play. Hey, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So do you see how that makes sense? We're playing the kick drum on every quarter. Now, let's move to beat. Now it's going to be on the end. So I'm just going to keep playing, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Are there any questions, Sophie? Any questions so far? Any questions so far before we just roll through this? Any questions so far? Are there any questions so far? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I don't see any questions. Okay, so let's roll through it. Everybody, 1, let's do it. 2, 2A, 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3, B, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you see, precision to me is very important. So when I'm playing the and with my kick, I'm noticing 1 and 2 and. So when you're working on coordination, you want to figure out, hey, where is lining up, what's lining up with what? So our stability is, and we have to just figure out where our kick is lining. So we know quarter notes, 1 and 2 and. Now we know 1 and 2 and. Okay? Now we're going to go C. It's E. 1 E, 2 E, and a 3 E, and a 4 E, and a 1 E. So you see now my kick is falling in between my ride and my snare. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. Now we're going to go to A. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Right? So when you're playing a groove, hey, let's go. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to go on the end. Hey, hey, hey. E, A, E, A, hey. And faster. So now we're going to, so anyway, this is, I just want to show it to you in context how fun it can be, okay? B, all right? No. Now I'm tired of 8th notes, actually. Okay, let's go to C with the right hand. So I want to show you how you can work on this. Now let's go to C. Here we have 1 and a. Now again, let's talk about orchestration and sound sources, because when you do this on your own, you have to go through all of them, okay? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, okay? We're at 1 C, everybody, with your right hand. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Is everybody with me? 1 C with your right hand. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 2 and a 4 on the snare. Now let's play kick patterns. Okay, I'm just going to run through it. A to O. Let's do it, all right? Everybody with me. 1, count with me. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And a 1 and a 2, 3, 4. And. E, E, E. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. And a. E, 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. E, oh, this one's hard. So because this one's a little hard because your kick is playing 1 E and 1 E and your right hand is playing 1 and so you have to really map out. So watch this: 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and so you see your E is playing on the kick and there's nothing in your right hand. 1 E, 1 E and so it gets a bit tricky. So okay, we're at 2K. Okay. 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 E N, E and a, E and a, E and a, E and a 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E. 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. And it's hard to like speak it and then play it. I recommend you guys to do that too. Okay, so we did da 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 da. Now if you want to do it on the hi-hat, now check this out. I like this. I find this to be a very common hi-hat pattern. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So I'm gonna do it fast. Ready? 1. Let's go. Let's do it. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. And E, 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 E. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. And E, 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 E. 1, a 2, a 3, 4. E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. E, 1 E. 1 E. No. 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, a 1 E, a 4 E, 1 E, and a 2 E, and a 4 E, and a. That was hard. Okay. So, does this make sense to everybody? I ran through it quickly so you guys can get the sense of it. Would you like me to run through it slow so you have it on record? Do you understand this? Do you understand the concept of this? It's pretty straightforward. Sometimes it can get a bit confusing. Let me know. So basically what you will have to do to develop your three-way coordination: 1, pick your right hand lead pattern, right cymbal, hi-hat. 2, bump that snare on the 2 and the 4. Then you take number 2. Those are your kick patterns. And you don't have to run through all of them. You can just choose. I like to divide 16 note permutations into single, double, and triple. If you look at the first line in 2, A to D, you have your downbeats, you have your E's, N's, and U's. If you look at the second line, you have 1 E and a E and 1 E, 1 N. All right? Then you have your triple, your groupings in threes, okay? 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 E N, E and a 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, a 1, a 2, a 3. Then you have your fours, quarter notes. 16 notes. Does that make sense? Any questions? Now, I think this is very self-explanatory. This is very important. I work on this exercise still today. It's that important because backbeat, if you play a backbeat, you can be hired for like too many things. And if you can play a backbeat and then you can improvise over your kick, then you're like doing some jazzy fusion stuff. And there's just this liberty that I'm going, you know? Like, look, hey. Hey. Hold on, I need to move this phone. Yep, let's go. That's all it is, okay? Does this make sense? What's 1:30? Does this make sense? Any questions about this? Ask me anything. Ask me the most obvious question. If you want to ask me what a drumstick is, if you want to ask me what a paradiddle is, ask me away. And I just suggest you got to work on these coordination stuff. Again, I work on it today. You want to get a crisp sound. You want to understand what's locking in with what. When my kick is dancing and my snare and hi-hat are stable, or my snare and ride cymbal are stable, where is my kick lining up? Because subdivision clarity, in my opinion, and what I'm trying to do is very important. Can I tell it's an E? And we talked about this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. When I hear an E, I know it's an E. One E. You know, like if you're like at a club and let's say the kick is going doom, doom, and let's say it starts doom, doom, you'd be like, hello, like I can't dance. The quarter note is not consistent. So consistency in subdivisions is so important. That's why when you're working through subdivisions, hear it. And sing it. Okay? Does that help? Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions about this? Any questions about this? Ask me questions. We have 30 minutes. I think this PDF is straightforward. You guys have to practice it and work on it. Now, bring me on some questions. Bring me questions. Ask me lots of questions. Okay? Bring them into the Google Sheet. Drum EO. Sarah, I'm so glad you brought up listen to the sound. Thank you. How do you listen to your drums and cymbals? With no ear protection, I don't do this, or through headsets, or record yourself, then listen to it. So I always have in-ears with me. So there's many ways. Okay, so this is interesting. Now, where you play your drums, in which, ow, did I pull out a hair? Oh my God. Bad glasses. Okay, where you play your drums is very important. So like if you're playing drums in a stadium, if you hit the kick, you're going to hear, right? If you're in a soundproof treated room, you're going to hear the go. Like the sound is very controlled. Or if you hear a kick drum outside, it's going to sound very flat, but a lot of attack. There's this video online. I can't remember the name of it. By the way, you like my shoes? I wore these sparkly shoes for you all. So there's this video online that shows somebody playing kick, snare, and hi-hat in like 50 different venues. Same kick, same groove, same snare, same hi-hat, same everything, taken from a camera phone, and you can hear how the drums sound different in every area. So I used to practice that. Like, I think this is a little cuckoo. I don't know if it's a little cuckoo. I don't even like the word cuckoo because, like, I think we're all naturally cuckoo. We just have to tap into it. Right? I embrace my cuckoo-ness. So what I used to do, I used to practice like listening to different sounds, because I felt like sometimes when the room is too controlled, you could hear every single subdivision, and that would bug me a little bit. So I started paying attention to the rooms I'm playing with, and the rooms that I'm playing in, not with. You can't play with the room. Actually, no, you can play with the room. You can play with the sound in the room and kind of use that to your advantage. Okay. But I was paying attention to the rooms that I was playing in and how it affects my sound. So that's one way to approach sound that I think is very important. Then you bring the appropriate gear for it, right? What if I walk into a jazz club and bring a 24-inch kick drum? That'd be like, Sarah, bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Or what if I play at a stadium and I bring an 18-inch kick drum? Sarah, bye-bye. You know what I mean? Appropriate. Even in terms of cymbals, right? Like, my choice of cymbals, I have a tendency to lead towards drier cymbals, right? I love drier cymbals, because for me, drier cymbals, you hit them, you attack it, and then it goes away. My hi-hats, I love 13-inch hi-hats. Like, I love... It's just my favorite, because you can hear, like, everything, and I love my left foot on the hi-hat. So when I'm playing that, you can hear the... Even my right cymbal, there's some wash, but when you hit it, yeah, baby, it comes out of the way. And then you still at the same time... You still have attack, but you have wash as well. So very, very important. So did I step away from your question? Okay, so I hear my drums in many ways. I used to record, before I had any mics, I used to record my drums on an iPhone, and I used to just listen on the iPhone, and I used to hear what it sounds like. What do the snare chains at the bottom sound like? What does the head sound like? I listened to it through my mics, on through my laptop, through my in-ears, through my phone, through my camera, or when someone's playing my drums, or if someone's playing drums in front of me, I think to myself, ooh, that's a Pearl, that's a DW, that's a Yamaha, that's a Tama. And then start familiarizing yourself with these different companies and what they sound like. And what does it mean to you? DW sound, Tama sound, Yamaha sound. So think very openly in terms of sound. I think this subject is very overlooked. I think it's beyond important. Like I would say it's as important as working on these exercises is developing your ear to hearing sound. I hope this answers your question, Drumeo. All right, next question. Super J Ray. Any tips on improving 3-limb unison dependence? Basically sounding super tight. I know a metronome is always recommended, but not sure if there are other things to try. So, and you're improving 3-limb unison dependence. So when you say dependence, Super AJ, can you clarify for me? Like, so you mean basically like hitting 3 limbs at the same time, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, please. So if this is just, I'll get into it anyway, but let me know if this is your question. Okay, so you said exactly, beautiful, okay. I think Mark Juliana does a lot of this. Oh, my ears are, okay. I think Mark Juliana does a lot of this. So take the same page, take the same exact page, and let's say, let me fix my in-ears. Let's say I pick a right-hand pattern. My favorite pattern is 1C. Da, 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 da. Now, how about we do this? Unison tightness and working together. Coordination. So da, 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 da. Now let's read 2 A to D with your kick and snare at the same time. So watch this. Oh, so okay. Already you can tell I'm bad at this, so forgive me. Wait. Makes sense? I need to work on it. I'm going to work on this week. So take the kick drum patterns and just stack your snare and kick together. So, okay, now I want to get into a rabbit hole now. This is getting exciting. Check this out, okay? So, okay, so you saw kick locking in with snare, playing the rhythms, hi-hat is stability, okay? Now check this out. Now what if snare is on 2 and 4, and let's say kick and ride cymbal are locked in together. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. what I did there? Kicks, hi-hat locked in, snare 2 and 4. Hi-hat stability, kick and snare matched in together. Mark Juliana to me is like one of the greats at this. He had an album called Locked in the Basement. Check it out. I think the band was called Herent, Herent, something like that. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Herent or something like that. And the album is so cool. I think the title, the first song of the album is like when you go to the grocery store or shopping any mall. What is it? The cash register. And so what it is at the beginning of the song is someone like typing on it, and Mark is like hitting the kick drum along with that. And oh my God, I heard that like 10 years ago, and I was like, whoa, my Lord. So tight, so consistent. So you can play with the metronome, but what I also do, polynome. I would program rhythms in there. Maybe I would do, go 1 E, 1 E, 1 E, 2 E, just that, okay? Put it in polynome, E, okay? Listen to it. Play it. Are you locking in with it, okay? That's a way. Another way is pick a loop. Pick any sort of loop. Pick a loop from like a drum machine or something that's programmed so you know that it's tight, right? And then try and log with it. If you pick up a Michael Jackson song, pick a Justin Bieber song, learn the kick drum pattern. Pick up a Beyonce song, pick up a Dua Lipa song, and hear like a consistent kick drum pattern and practice locking into it. And then try this. Then practice locking into it, and then making your ride and your kick lock into it, and then keeping your 2 and 4 on the snare. So these are many ways to get creative. I just think about it this way. You will be in situations where you're playing to a metronome, without a metronome, 2 loops, 2 tracks, with other people. So I think sometimes only practicing to a metronome can be limiting in terms of mentality. You want to be able to lock into different tracks because, again, even different songs and tracks have different levels of swing, right? If I'm going, what if I decide to do this whole exercise and swing? There's something else to work on, right? So you're thinking in swing rather than or in between, right? Does that make? Let me know if that answers your question. All right, Super Jerry. Do we move number 2 to snare and use bass drum as stability? Yes, you can totally do that. I love doing that. So check this out. So let's pick a stability for the drums. Let's pick a stability for the kick, okay? First one that comes up to my mind is 4 on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or so yeah, any kick drum pattern that even like you see, so many ways. That's why I feel like these sheets, it's like this is a lifetime of work. It's how you manipulate it. What is your stability? What is your dancing? You can always move it around. So beautiful question, Super J-Ray. Thank you for asking. And I hope I answered your question. Let me know. Alrighty. Trent, are you thinking dynamics when you are changing between the different patterns on your kick and ride and hi-hat ride? Most definitely. I'm always thinking of dynamics. And like, yes, dynamics mean soft and loud, but dynamics, to me, also intertwine with accents-ish. I mean, like, so if I'm going, right? Right? So if you see ga, do-do, ga, do-do, ga, do-do, ga, or you see da, do-do, da. So I'm playing that in one volume. I'm playing all that loud. But what if I go da, da, So bell is loud, and the 2 following 16ths are soft. Or if I go zuzuka, or if I want to go all soft, if I want to go all loud, or having fun with it. So I think dynamics and accents work hand in hand, and I'm always doing my best to think of both. Let me know if this answers your question. Hank Jan, hello. How to get 1D da 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 on hi-hat? What technique? I love your question. Is it a da da? Is it da da? Is it one enda? Is it one end or one enda? Well, either or. So on the hi-hat, let me show you. So if you look at my hi-hat, right? So if in my experience, when I'm trying to play multiple notes, I have a tendency to start relying on my fingers a bit more. So if I go on my ride cymbal and I go da 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 da, I'm using French grip where my thumb is facing up. My thumb is facing up, and my fulcrum is my index finger and my thumb, and then I have my 3 fingers wrapped around at the back, letting the stick do a little bit of a dance. So that's how I'm executing a lot of these fast notes. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. A lot of finger stuff. So even on the hi-hat, when I'm going da 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 da. So look here. Look at my hand. I'm like sinking my hand in for the accent. Da. Then I lift. Cool, cool. And you'll see when I lift, it's fingers. Da. Cool, cool. 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 Da. And one thing I want to make clear is that sometimes I have a habit of making this mistake that when I'm going da doo doo, sometimes I have tension here, and I'm like, oh, I have to catch myself. That there shouldn't be any tension at all, because you don't want to injure yourself. So when you're going da doo doo da, like I can feel everything loose and wavy, and when I'm sinking in, look how loose my hand is. Sink in, pull up, and you're sinking in with the fulcrum. Can you let me know, Hank, if that answers your question? Let me know if this helps, okay? All right, next question. P-Dub, Sarah, when you're trying to find the focal point on your drumstick, and I've heard other teachers say you can feel the stick as a certain point where it actually vibrates, is that a focal point you're looking to, or should you avoid that vibration? You know what, P-Dub, to be quite honest, I've never looked at the vibration as a stick as an indicator to where I should hold the stick. I have to think about that for a second. Ooh, I do feel a vibration. Yeah, so now look. Can you see, can you see my hands properly? Yeah. Okay, let me do it here. Okay. So check this. Check this. Okay, so I feel vibration here. I feel vibration here, down here. I'm using a Vic Firth stick. So, like, if you have a Vic Firth stick, you can use the flag as a kind of indicator. So I'm under the flag. Still under the flag, I feel vibration, okay? I'm on the flag, so this is how high I am. No vibration. But for me, like, holding my stick where the flag is, like this high, even though there's no vibration, well, there's a little bit. There is a little bit. It doesn't work. I think it's too high. I don't really. So wait, what did your teacher say that the vibration? Let me read your question again. You can feel the stick as a certain point where it actually vibrates. Is that a focal point you're looking, or should you avoid that vibrate? Okay, I don't even remember. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't consider that at all, because like for me, I'm holding it all the way down here. I have a tendency. I like to hold it down here because. I don't know, I know some people play like this, right? For me, it doesn't feel natural. I like it. I like feeling the weight of the stick. So for me, it's not more so the vibration. To me, it's where can I feel comfortable, where I'm not having tension, and where I can have the bounce. That's how I kind of do it. But for me, like around the flag, I find is a common area where people tend to gravitate towards to figuring out how they should hold the stick. Yeah, let me know if this answers your questions. Let me know if this answers it. Yeah, so for me, yeah, vibration is not really an indicator. It's more so like where I feel comfortable, where I feel I can use rebound, right? And where I can have, why I like holding the stick down here, like it's just my fingers, like, and I can have I can have total control, power, just my fingers. Because if I'm holding, I mean, you can do it up here, but I still feel like you're including more energy. I think. Yeah, there is vibration, but I don't mind it. That was a very long-winded answer. Please let me know if that helps you, P-Dub. How are we all doing, by the way? We're getting very technical. Are we okay? Am I helping you at all? Let me know if I'm helping you at all, my friends. Okay. Next question. Steve K. What is something you know now that you wish you knew 10 years ago, drumming or otherwise? Ooh, this is a juicy question. One thing I'll tell you that I wish that I knew 10 years ago is that there is not one way to do something and that everybody has an opinion. I think I keep saying this a lot, but I can't tell you how much it's overlooked. Because for me, my story, maybe some can relate, maybe some can't, but for me, my story is that being a self-taught drummer, like I grew up in an era where we had CDs and cassettes. Like you go to Blockbuster to rent a movie. Like that was my childhood. So whatever you had access to in your house, that's all you had access to. Like when I was a kid, there was no YouTube, right? So I was exposed to some like fusion. I used to listen to jazz on the radio. Like I used to listen to Oscar Peterson at a very young age. Like all that stuff, but like heavily on rotation for me was Indian music, and Indian music is on percussion. So I would go on the drums and hear and on the drums I'd go and I never cared about what a paradiddle is. But then when I went and I would always stand out. I would play drum solos. I was the main drummer in the high school jazz band. We won competitions and festivals, and I'm like, you know what? I'm set for university. Get to university, and I get declined from like almost every single school, and it made me feel horrible. It made me feel horrible because I doubted myself. I doubted if I'm like good or if I'm talented or if my life was a lie. And like that's how bad that it got for me. Because I didn't know. Like I was playing rudiments, but I didn't care like what's at this and what's at that. Or you have to know this or you have to know that. In the real world though, you don't have to know everything. You can find so many drummers who don't play everything. You can find so many drummers that don't check mark all the boxes on a music school application. I wish someone told me that before, because I was heartbroken for a long time, and I think in a way like that made me push forward. That made me learn everything. Like that made me dip into everything. Say, okay, this is a broad understanding of a culture, of Cuban music, of Brazilian music. Okay, this is the difference. Okay, this is the history of this. Okay, this is the history of that. And it made me do my research. It made me work on my sight reading, which I'm very thankful for. But I think just knowing, so this is my thing. I think it's important to be aware of your surroundings, but then you make your internal choice of what is important to you. Because like, listen, like music is not a competition, okay? And I feel like sometimes maybe we get stuck into that, or maybe I can speak from my own experience. So music is literally an expression. So what does it mean to you? And I wish I understood that. Like, I wish I had someone to tell me that. I wish I had someone to tell me that, Sarah, you are good enough. Like, don't worry about it. Because after, like, my class graduated, I saw everybody, like, we were all kind of, like, you know, at similar playing fields. And I'm like, and I look back and like the people who didn't accept me, like they're surprised, and it crushed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I doubted myself. So never doubt yourself. Trust your heart. Trust your gut. Be aware of what exists out there, but don't worry about learning everything or like checking up all the boxes. Be good at what you want to be good at. Like I like to be a versatile musician. Okay, like I like to be versatile because I just gravitate towards all styles of music. It's fun for me, but you don't have to be. You can just play one style of music and you'll be okay. You'll survive and you're still amazing. There's no comparison in music. There's no better or worse. I can list you. Steve Jordan, Ash Sowen, Calvin Rogers, Marvin Smitty Smith, Buddy Rich, Vinnie Colaiuta, Dave Weckl, Questlove. You tell me right now what's better. Can you tell me? No, you can't tell me what's better. You can tell me what you prefer, right? And you think they're thinking, oh, they're better than me. Oh, I'm better than them. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. It's just when you really understand, live and breathe that drums is an expression then you're like, oh, I can fall in love with what I'm doing, and I can express myself at what I'm doing. You know, I give this, okay, I'm going on a rant because I'm having fun, okay? But this is so close to my heart, I have to tell you. It's like if you go to I don't know if there's Tim Hortons in America. We have Tim Hortons in Canada. Tim Hortons is like great coffee. If you go to Tim Hortons doesn't has like Tim Hortons and McDonald's. I think they were like head to head in terms of like the best coffee. Tim Hortons, they specialize in coffee, donuts, Timbits, sweets, latte, whatever. And then you can't have a burger at Tim Hortons. You won't find that. You'll find sandwiches. McDonald's has their Big Macs. They have their stuff. Starbucks has their, skim milk, fancy almond milk, whatever. McDonald's doesn't have, well, not here at least. There's no, So I'm saying, like, everyone's just doing their own thing, and that's how you're going to thrive. So that's my advice to you. Yeah, please. I hope that answers. Okay? So that's what I wish I knew 10 years ago. Super J Ray. I love this permutation document more than all the others previously shared. I'm so glad. It's the easiest to follow and simplest. I'm so glad. Would it hurt if I only use this one, or do I need to use the other slightly more complex ones? Super J Ray, I'm so glad to hear that. But now look at this. You only need this. So think about it this way. In this exercise, look at number 2. Okay, look at number 2 and look at all the 16-node permutations. In number 2, these are all the combinations of 16-node permutations. That's it. There's no more. If you look at complex ones, maybe you're going to see groupings in 5, groupings in 3, different rhythms, which I think is as important to work on, because you want to maybe, like, there's a book called Art of Bebop. There's The New Breed. There are all these books, syncopation, and they give you rhythms to play. Once you have the foundation of this and you understand 16-node permutations, then you can go check out some of these complex ones just to see, can you hear a rhythm? Can I play? Can I not? Why not? Maybe I have to work on my triple on the kick. But this is your ABCs. Get comfortable with your ABCs. Or simultaneously, just check out some other stuff and see if you can play it and work on it. Everything works hand in hand. Everything does. Because this can get very complex. Check this, okay? Let's get creative. Let's say, okay, everyone look at your paper. Number 1, C, da-da-da-da-da-da, right cymbal, hi-hat, da-da-da-da-da-da, to and fro on the snare. So let's do this, okay? Let's look at 2. Let's combine 2 together. Let's make this complex. Let's take G, 2G. Okay, let's take 2G and 2H. Ka, go. I just combine the 2. Play it fast. Play it slow. You can make any of this complex. And this actually in itself is complex. But this is your ABCs, basically. Does that answer your question? Let me know. Okay. Oh, my God. It's 1:59. Okay, I may go over for 5 minutes, guys, if that's okay. I want to cover all these questions. So submit any. We have 5 minutes. Please submit any questions that you have. Okay? Which are there projects that you have always wanted to do but have not gotten around to? Anything you can talk about? 100%. There are so many things on my list that I want to do. There are so many people that I aspire to play with still. There's a lot of music that I'm working on. Stay tuned for stuff that's coming up. There's too much. And that's the one thing I love about music, that it's never ending. You can always there's always a next level, like no matter where you're at, whether you're a beginner or whether you're like very experienced. So I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff. Stay tuned. P-Dub, yes, you answered my question. I'm glad that I change my grip all the time too. It was just something I heard from a Drumeo teacher, and it was curiosity. Thank you. Yeah, there's not one shoe that fits all. Like, I'm using a mix of German, American, or French, or, it's just about what feels right and when you don't have any tension in your body. Okay, I think these are all the questions. Okay, guys, I'm going to count down from 10. Are there any more questions? I'm going to count down from 10. You have 10 seconds to submit me one more question before we call it a day, my friends. One more question. No, you have 10 seconds to submit as many questions. So I'm going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, Okay. I think that does it. We're good. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. Work on your coordination. Feel the subdivisions. Feel the patterns that you're playing. Sing the patterns that you're playing. And have fun with it. And I shall see you. Let me get my exit ready so I can do a stylish exit. Okay. I shall see you guys next Thursday at 10 p.m. PST and 1 p.m. Oh my God, hold on. I screwed up my exit. I shall see you Thursday, 10 a.m. PST and 1 p.m. EST. Did I do that right? 10 a.m. PST and 1 p.m. EST. Much love to you all. Mwah! I shall see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.